It is a lovely good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime Cafe right here on Camnet TV. My name is Joe Smarter. You can join us by tuning in to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Make sure that you follow us, you leave a comment, and you engage in some of the stories that we are going to bring to you this particular afternoon. And you know for a fact that this is where your latest in current affairs is found. Now, without much further ado, let's go into our segment known as the Emerging Stories. Okay, so we are back on our emerging stories, and these are the stories that you need to look for in our news this evening at exactly 19:30 hours, as we bring to you nothing but the best in current affairs. And make sure you do tune in to Camnet TV. Now, in our emerging stories, first on the list we do have PEPFAR gives Zambia 9 billion kwacha for HIV fight. Now, the United States President's emergency plan for AIDS relief, PEPFAR, has announced a 367 million United States dollars, which is or translates to 9.2 billion kwacha HIV response support to Zambia for over the next 1 year. Okay, so that's one of the stories that you need to look out for in our main news this evening at exactly 19:30 hours, where PEPFAR has given Zambia 9 billion kwacha for HIV fight. Second on the agenda, government calls on ZESCO to review 8-hour daily blackouts. Now, government has recommended to ZESCO to review the 8-hour daily load shedding to have shorter hours of blackouts for ease of doing business. So that's government. They are calling for calling on ZESCO to shorten the 8 hours of load shedding. And we know for a fact that the Minister of Energy was quoted in the media saying that maybe before the end of the year the hours will be reduced to 6 or 4. We are waiting to see what will happen. Let's go on to our last story. Now, this is an interesting story. Let me give you a little bit of background. Now, this emerging story has been reported in one of the broadsheets, the Zambia Daily Mail indigenous newspaper, where a story, rather a letter, was circulated, and obviously this letter was alleged to have been written by Archbishop Teleso Mpundu, suggesting that the president, the vice president, the attorney general, the speaker, and other senior government officials should be restricted when it comes to movements by the USA government, including these individuals to be restricted movements and sanctions imposed on Zambia. Now, this, of course, was met with a lot of polarized opinions from different sections of society. However, it has emerged, according to the Zambia Daily Mail that Mr. Changala, Dr. Sichua are behind OCIDA letter, according to this particular story that we monitored from the Zambia Daily Mail. Now, impeccable sources within the Catholic Church have reviewed the events surrounding the alleged Our Civic Duty Association, or SIDA, letter exposing human rights activist Brendan Changala and South African-based lecturer Sishua as being allegedly behind the controversial petition to the American Embassy. Last week, the petition, purportedly written by former Lusaka Archbishop Teleso Mpundu, requested the United States U.S. government to place sanctions against some top government officials. This particular story reads in part. If you want the full story, please do tune in to our news at exactly 19:30 hours. And this story has been reported in one of the broadsheets, the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper. Now, let me introduce my guest this particular afternoon. After Women's Day, after Youth Day, a lot has been said, including during the presidential address to Parliament. The man from Wapula called us again. He demanded that he comes, he features, and he clarifies certain issues. As you know, we can term him as a praise singer or a UPND sympathizer. Dr. Jackson Kalenga, good to see you, sir, and good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good to have you here.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Zambians.
Okay, fantastic. You called my producers and requested that you'd like to have an audience with the viewers out there on this particular platform, Lunchtime Cafe, because according to you, you have some burning issues that need to be addressed. Let's get into it. Let's start with the presidential address. There are some sections of society that believe this particular address wasn't watertight. It didn't address much of the issues that were supposed to be addressed, and there are some inconsistencies from the previous one last year and this particular one. What is Wapula saying?
My brother, you know, Parliament is just like that every time.
Okay.
Okay? The president gave a tremendous speech.
According to you?
Yes, it was a nice speech where we saw the president even extending an olive branch to the Zambian people, to the politicians, to the other civil society to come on board and join him so that we can look for a solution to solve the things that seems to be keeping Zambia, you know, in an awkward position. Okay. The president extending that olive branch does not symbolize that the president was coward or the president failed to work. But that is normal for a noble person. Okay. A person who would allow other people to bring in her advice to foster, because at the end of the day, we all have one goal.
Are you open to advice as Wapula UPND?
Very
Are
much
you open
open
to advice?
Very much open.
Why does the opposition seem to think that you, the UPND, are not open to advice? You are insulated against advice.
No, that is the way they were.
Okay.
So since they were in that manner, they think that is how we are. No. The government and the UPND party, in the preamble, the president said he runs the open door policy, meaning everyone can come. The ministers, the PSAs, other technocrats, their doors are wide open. So they are able to receive advices. So when you bring an advice, it not necessarily mean that the moment you bring it, I will just take it without contemplating on them. Okay? I need to get it. Then I also have to, you know, search for them to see, are these advice, okay? Are they suitable for the Zambian people or what? But the fact remains that my door will not be closed.
Do you have an open policy, as you an open door policy as UPND?
Yes.
Are you open to advice?
Go. There is no, you know, what we used to see. You need to make appointment and whatever. when you go to ministers' offices in the UPND, the doors are wide open.
Okay.
The minister will see you at any time you come.
Okay, I want to invite our viewers to come through and give your submissions regarding this particular topic that we are looking at. The topic is National Matters, a perspective from Luapula province. He is the man who is in charge of communication in Luapula under the governing UPND. He is the Information and Publicity Secretary, Dr. Jackson Kalenga. We host him this particular afternoon, and it's good to know that Mr. Emmanuel Bono is watching. Good to know that you are tuned in, my brother. Thank you so much for making that decision. Now, coming to you, Mr. Kalenga, let me take you back to the Mulungushi International Conference Center, KK Wing, where we saw the youth Indaba taking place. Yes. However, information emerging from there is that we had students that were chanting pro-UCA slogans. How do you react to this? You are also present.
I wish you had the video so that we play it again. There was never such. Okay? The students from UNZA, when they saw the president coming in, they only registered their presence in the building by chanting Bali, not UCA. Okay, so when the Minister Honorable Kandu, the Minister of Youths, started giving his speech, in his preamble of greeting the schools, one school was left without being mentioned. That is Levi Mwanawasa Hospital, training school. You know, Levi Mwanawasa University. Not that the minister forgot about them. No, he didn't know that they were also present.
Okay.
Okay. So, hence the noise from Levi Mwanawasa student. They also wanted their presence to be, you know, felt. That
so that's the reason why they started calling
they didn't even chant. That's why I said, I wish you had the video. You replay it so that we hear where the word Uka is coming from. There was no such. We could see the president answering the youths of this nation, asking him, questioning him, what they want the president to do for them. And such, the president questioned the students, would you want this meal allowance and free education to be removed from you? What was the answer? No! In affirmative and in Wonzon. No! In capital letters.
Okay.
Why would you allow someone to come in as your next president
but Doc,
and remove
bursary? Doc, wait.
Remove meal allowance?
Wait, Doc. In the morning, we had the youth, a young person from Mississippi compound, who was here with us. And he indicated that those that were asking questions, it was staged. You, being a UPND member and part of the organizers, the UPND, young people in the party, yourself and others, organized young people to answer questions. You gave them questionnaires that this is what you need to ask the president. No, it was staged, according to the young man.
Let me tell you, because I was one of the youths in there.
Organizers?
No. Let me answer you.
You came with youths from Luapula. We are aware.
Youths were drawn from different constituencies,
including Luapula.
No. I want to make mention to you that we have even PF councillors in that meeting. 7 PF councillors.
Are they not Zambians?
That's what I'm telling you. That if it was staged, how did we bring in PF councillors? It was not selective. I'm talking about the questions, though. It was not selective. People selected. In fact, it was DCs and the community who were selecting who should represent the youths from the constituents. So we had PF councillors from Kawambwa Central. We have PF councillors, you know, others even from Unchelenge. We have PF councillors, others from, you know, Pambashe, you know, and other PF councillors were amidst us. Did you see segregation? No. They were nothing like stage.
Okay.
They were just told anyone with a question, and everyone would raise their hands.
Now that's what the
And
concern
why
is.
did
though.
I ask if it was states? Did you see me asking a question?
You didn't ask a question. Now that's what the question is. That's why the concern rather is that ordinary Zambians, ordinary youths were not given an opportunity to ask questions. The individuals or the young people that asked those questions,
Did they have
were
position in
given
the party?
questionnaires organized by the likes of you, though,
No.
to ask the president
No.
questions, written for them by the likes of you.
No.
How do you respond to these allegations?
I'm responding because I was there. There was nothing like that.
Okay.
People questioned the president. The president was very free to answer them. Ministers were answering. The president would invite the ministers. Maybe the question that you ask is direct to a certain minister, and the minister is present. The president will call such a minister, come and answer.
Okay.
Yes, the minister would send. We saw the Minister of Education answering. We saw, the Minister of Commerce, Honorable Felix Mutati, answering. We saw the owner of the Minister, Honorable Nkandu, answering, and his PS, Chama Fumba, answering. There was nothing completely like that.
Okay.
Youths were very happy because we brought youths from all over the place within our country, regardless of their political affiliation. They attended. They had free to bring in what they wanted into their constituencies. Hence, the president responded.
Are you a listening party?
I told you that we ran an open door policy. Our party is open. Go to Secretariat if you see anyone chasing you. Go there, even as PF. Our SG will receive you very much. Go and deliver what you've come. The
PF,
yes.
PF, Patriotic Front, Citizen First, NDC, PEP, PEP, Socialist Party. These are all Zambians. Surely they should be free to come to your secretariat.
Who tells them not to go there?
The way you're putting it,
Have you seen?
no, the way you're putting it,
No, I'm telling you, we ran
as if maybe
door.
coming to your secretariat is entering the doors of paradise. Only a
It's a
selected
paradise, my friend. It's a
only a
paradise.
selected few can come to your
There
secretariat.
is no selective.
Those
or
that have
selection.
decided to walk the path, the lone path, the narrow path, are the only ones that can be accepted to your secretariat.
No, I've always told
Are they
you-
not all Zambians?
No, I always tell Zambians to show that UPND runs an open door policy. The first thing that the president did was to allow to be criticized by removing defamation of the president. That was a sign, first sign number one, to show that we want to run an open door policy. Okay? That's why you could see even an MP confronting the president. Did you see that in the previous regime? No. Okay? It moved completely the defamation of the president so that he puts himself on open or at open for people to criticize him or to criticize his leadership. Okay? But even as we are criticizing, the criticism should have manners in the way you address them.
Okay.
Yes. So UPND runs the open door policy.
Okay. Let's
As
make
simple as
progress.
that.
Let's make progress,
Yes.
Doctor. Sources have reported in this particular letter, or this particular news story is in the broadsheet, the Zambia Daily Mail,
Yes.
that the letter that was purportedly or allegedly written by Archbishop Teleso Mpundu, unfortunately, it was written by other individuals. Two individuals have been named, and that story is there. It's already in public domain. Let me find out from you, when you look at the contents of that letter that was circulated and issued to the American embassy, then the same Osida again came out and said this particular letter has got no blessings from us as Osida. My question to you is, do you feel there's an invisible hand causing confusion in Osida as an organization? That's the question that I have for you, seeing that you are a sympathizer of the governing UPND.
An invisible hand, like from UPND or from Patriotic Front or from elsewhere?
I'm asking.
I want to ask you because
I
want to get your clear question.
Because
Listen,
prior to 2021,
yes,
Osida spoke strongly against the then ruling PF.
Yes.
Okay? And some sections of society suggested that Osida was supporting the UPND. You formed government. Osida became critical against you. Sympathizers like you, Doc, of the UPND, began to suggest that Osida was being sponsored by some sections of the opposition. Now, I'm asking, do you feel there's an external hand trying to cause confusion in Osida?
Those who wants to come back into power, yes. The answer is yes in affirmative. And you can see that there is confusion among themselves. Okay? Others are saying the letter has no blessings. Others feel the letter has a blessing. My brother, if there is a time that when we were in opposition, we could invite the American embassy or the American themselves, to sanction Zambia, was the time when people were killed like chicken in Zambia. People were beaten like animals. People were being gassed wherever you go. These days, you can't even imagine if we have junkies in Zambia, because you can even be moving with your phone like this. The junkie will tell you, "Oh, I'm Dara Barakaka."
But why haven't you arrested people?
Listen, let me finish.
That I suppose.
But you saw the UPND did not cry nor write, okay, to the government of America to say sanction President Edgar Lungu, sanction Madam Inonge Wina, sanction Dikando Kalaluka, sanction. Nothing like that. Okay? This is our nation. Those patriotic Zambians whose goal is to save Mother Zambia cannot do such a thing. Because we ran an open door policy, they would come, lay it on the table so that discussion is made. Now we could see cowards, that's how they behave. Okay? They are hiding even themselves. See, this one said it's not the bishop. Oh, it's this one. It's this one. Among themselves. That's how people works when confusion among themselves. And when the hand of God is working to expose those who are doing something contrary to the will of God, they are exposed in such manner. Okay? How will you preach to the people and tell the American to sanction the vice president? What has she done? To sanction the president. What has the president done? The attorney general. What have they done? What has Zambia done for it to be sanctioned? Do we have conflict in Zambia?
What's wrong with you politicians? Let me ask you this question. What's wrong with you politicians? The 1 minute you say, for instance, you the same politicians, 1 minute you say this particular administration is a puppet of the West. The next minute you are calling on the imperialists, that the same individuals you call imperialists. you are calling them to sanction the same country or administration that you are referring to be a puppet administration. To them. What's wrong with you politicians?
That's why I'm telling you.
Do you think the Zambian people can be taken for granted? Or maybe you think the Zambian people have selective amnesia such that they choose to forget what you tell them?
My brother, that's what I'm saying. They don't mean for the Zambian. Because a well-meaning Zambian cannot behave in that manner. As we have just alluded. These were the people who are saying UPND is a baby to the West. And today, see how confused they are. Today, they are telling the same West we are puppet to sanction us. So is there any truth in them? Nothing. There's no truth in them. In fact, they lack direction. They don't know where they are going. Okay.
Now, the two individuals that have been quoted in the broadsheet, the Zambia Daily Mail, that these are the individuals that are responsible for authoring this particular letter to the American embassy. Would you be surprised if it turns out that indeed these are the individuals behind that particular letter? Will you be surprised?
I cannot be surprised.
Why?
Because there is some other people with power hungry. So they are trying all what they could to make sure that they come back. So they would use whatever means or whatever boat or whatever car which they think can drive them to power again. So let's wait and see. I expected to see the bishop responding, but he's still quiet. Also expecting the Changala to respond. There's still no one responding. Even when they've been told to resign or to come out open, deny the allegation. Still quiet. It's a sign.
Let me find out from you.
They have no direction. They don't know where they are going.
Doc, let me find out from you. You as the UPND party, in the last 2 years, there is a notion out there that you have created more enemies than friends as a party. Have you heard that notion?
We've only created...
Have you heard that notion, first of all?
I'm answering. We've only created enemies to thieves. Simple. To the straight, well-meaning Zambians, there is no such kind of a thing. But those who knows that their hands are not clean to criminalities, they are enemies to UPND.
How are they enemies when you haven't convicted anybody?
They are enemies.
In the last 2+ years that you have been in power, Doc, your administration hasn't convicted anybody in terms of corruption.
Are you there?
Not insulting language, not social cash transfer. In terms of corruption allegations, you, the UPND, haven't convincingly convicted anybody amongst the people, individuals that you have accused of being corrupt, that you have accused of being thieves. Whom have you convicted? Show us.
It's a court process. I don't work in court. But you've heard so many cases in court. Okay? But others are being convicted. The Chirumanda, what was the reason? When you failed to account how you acquired something, what are we trying to tell the Zambian people? That is corruption.
But some sections of society are saying, that if you are going to talk about the PS, former PS State House being arrested for allegations of corruption, they are saying...
You said there is nothing, there is no one. So I've mentioned one.
Has he been convicted and sentenced? The answer is no.
What has he been what?
Convicted and sentenced. Sure? The answer is no. He was only arrested.
Are you sure?
Positive.
My brother, wait. What about Madam Chad Katanga?
She's still outside. She was given 2 years. She was given 2 years simple imprisonment, and she appealed, and she was given bail. She's outside.
That is why there is democracy. But the fact is, she was what? Sentenced. Okay? Then because we are a patriotic Zambian, and Zambia is a democratic country, someone is allowed to appeal. Okay?
What's happening to a big fish, or fishes if you like?
The cases are in the court.
Why are we seeing you? Why
it's
are we
incumbent upon judges to determine, not me.
Why are we seeing your administration only going for sardines, carpenter?
They are not sardines.
Unlike going for Lake Tanganyika bream.
They are not sardines, my friend. You can't count a technocrat as sardine.
Why are we not seeing your administration going for Luangwa breams?
If you don't
Zambezi breams.
Let me tell you, if you don't know the PS, he's highly paid than the minister himself. Don't play. They are technocrats. Okay? Technocrats. They run the government.
Okay.
Don't play with the PSAs. Okay? And that person in question was PS what?
State House?
First House. Okay? So, my brother, UPND is only enemy to those whose hands are not clean.
Okay. Let's hear from you, dear viewer. Please come through and give us your own submission. We have the Luapula mouthpiece, Dr. Jackson Kalenga. He is the Information and Publicity Secretary in Luapula. He is one of those people that you may call a UPND press singer. Please come through and ask him questions, seek clarity as we continue to delve in this particular discussion. Let's make progress, Doctor.
I'm not a press singer, by the way. I'm an administrator. I'm an administrator.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's make progress.
Good.
Declaration of drought in some parts of the country as a national disaster. Some stakeholders tend to think that you knew as an administration that the drought was coming. El Nino was upon us, but you didn't heed advice from the technocrats, from stakeholders. I come back to my earlier question. Are you a listening government?
Very good. As there any technocrat come to your station and complain that I offered the advice and they rejected it?
Probably they can't come because of your victimization.
So
you are in power, you are wielding power.
There is no victimization, my brother. You can't even be putting in this nice suit here. If UPND was a victimization organization.
Okay.
Can we sit here dressing nicely like this? No. We are a listening government. That's why we are very easy, even to agree. You would hear the president himself saying, things are not okay. Because we are a listening party. Okay? But there are a certain thing that we cannot condone. Things that we know that it will ruin the peace of this nation. We cannot condone that.
Such as?
Okay? The same letter we are talking about. Where people would go and cite, call upon other nations to come and sanction Zambia. But the Zambia, which they want to be sanctioned, is being given grants because it is performing well.
Okay.
See how controversial these people are. Were they given grants like we are being given? No. We are performing well. The truth remains that because Zambia is being run by or ruled by human beings, mistakes might be there. That's why the president extended the olive branch to say, please, I'm a human being, you can come. So that we work together.
Okay.
You understand? So UPND is a listening party, 100%, and its government.
Did you listen to the technocrats when
we
they told
listened
you that El Nino was looming and now we have drought in most parts of the country? Did you listen?
Were we supposed to tell people not to cultivate? Eh? Tell me. Because people cultivated and drought, surfaced from there. Things got spoiled or destroyed, as a listening president pronounced that this is a disaster. It is not something that we can be happy about. Okay, when we say this is a national disaster, it's not something that we can be happy about, my brother. Those people who cultivated have lost money. Okay? They've lost their energy, they've lost time, their families, they need to eat at the end of the day. Then the president says this is a national disaster, meaning those kind of people You know, rely on the government support. Government needs to support them.
How is
those who are affected?
How is this administration supporting farmers in northwestern province, farmers in central province that are experiencing this drought? How are they being supported?
We have extension officers in all our country who are going around. They know better those who are affected than we may know. Okay? Sooner or later, they will give a report. But the report is what you heard from the president declaring it as a national disaster. That means we have a report somewhere. And it's not something that we can be happy about. It's something which is not good to Zambian people. But we didn't bring drought. It's natural.
Okay. So let's hear from Ezron Mwape. Ezron Mwape, thank you so much for coming through, my brother. He says, problem HH, he's too much into himself. He can't get advice from anyone.
As that person advised the president, then the president says, you know, the president is one person who's very open. He's got his Facebook page. He's on Instagram. Almost all the media pages. You see the president. Go there, interact with him. He would read all the messages that people have sent to him and respond. Through WhatsApp, through Facebook, through Instagram.
Is he the one
Twitter,
that handles his Facebook page?
Himself.
His social media?
Himself. Himself. That Facebook line and Twitter, Instagram, those are his personal phone numbers, personal account. He's very open to criticism, very open to advice. Go on Facebook, you'll find his page. And he's most of the time around 21 is online.
Okay.
He allows critics, my brother. Okay? But we should not forget that he's a human being. Okay?
When you say we should not forget he's a human being,
very good.
What do you mean?
There are other people, like those who are writing those letters to him.
Hello, we do have a caller.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello?
Hello, you are through to Camnet. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, I'm Benjamin Charles Banda, calling from Kitwe.
Mr. Banda from Quito, please go ahead with your submission.
Okay, I want to ask, I don't know the name of this Mr. Man. You said that whosoever is not agree with what is UPND doing is a criminal. So, are we criminals if we don't follow the government say?
Okay.
So, you must make the point clear, because that sounds like an insult to us. Today we might support the government of the day, tomorrow we can't support it, but it doesn't mean we're criminals. So, we should teach him how to talk. We are not criminals.
Okay, I'm listening.
Must be there. We need to respect him, and he has to respect us as citizens. If he says that, yes, we are criminals, even our parents are criminals, but they voted for UPNT. But some they voted for UPNT. But what is happening now, because we can't allow it. We can't fall into his shoes. We are not criminals, no.
Okay.
So we are not peer. Not everyone is peer. So teach him how to talk.
Okay.
He's a big man. He's on media.
He's my lecturer.
We have to learn from him.
Okay.
He's our brother.
Okay.
So let him not.
Okay. Mr. Banda, thank you so much for coming through. Dr. Kalenga, maybe put it in context.
I have to answer.
Yes, please
Very
answer.
good. It's him who didn't get the question clearly from him.
Okay, put it in context then. Put your answer in context.
You said UPND has made more enemies
than friends.
Well, okay.
Since it came into government.
Who is an enemy? Who is an enemy? Do an enemy advise? No. Okay? So, the enemy cannot advise.
Okay.
The enemy is someone who's killing you, who's coming against your throat. That's an enemy. We didn't say those who are advising. My context was UPND runs an open door policy.
Okay. So
And
Mr.
clear
Banda,
to criticism. Listen.
check for instance.
Yes. Let me finish. You
Okay.
brought the question. And open to criticism. So I did not say those who are criticizing UPND are thieves. No. Those who are becoming enemies. And an enemy is not a person you can tolerate.
Okay.
Okay. Not someone who's criticizing. Someone who's criticizing you wants you to wake up in something that you are doing which is not okay. Okay? That's someone who's criticizing. The criticizer will tell you. The enemy cannot tell you.
Okay. So for instance,
Yes.
Mr. Banda from Kitwe, they are coming through. If, for instance, he voted for you, then along the way he discovers that no, you are not fulfilling some of your promises. Does he become an enemy or he becomes a critic? If he criticizes you, or if he points out those mistakes or your shortcomings, does that mean he's your enemy or he's just a critic?
My point was that letter criticizing.
We do have a caller. Wait.
Is that
Hello,
letter
good
criticizing?
afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling you from Makeni.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Mr. Mwenga.
Mr. Mlenga, kindly go ahead. We have Dr. Kalenga here.
Yes, I just want to address my brother there. It's not criticizing. We are following up. It's not criticizing, but once the father or the president to hear advice.
Okay.
Yes,
You are
we
free.
are doing. As the UK government under HH, we are very happy about the use of catalytic and these two things. But
Okay.
immediately, no one will go going to accept. Please let their parents take on you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Mlenga, there for coming through. We do appreciate.
So criticism is
Okay.
totally different with enmity. When you feel what I'm doing to you is not good, Mr. Smata, if you keep it at heart, that's why even in the court of law, there is manslaughter and murder. Hey,
Okay.
very good. Because there's something that someone is doing intentionally and something that someone is doing out of emotion.
Okay.
Okay, because of the situation at that particular time he has found himself into. Okay, so when you are pointing out that this is what you promised me, you cannot be my enemy. How do you become my enemy? And I said it. I told you that I'm going to buy you a phone. Then you come to remind me. Those who are pointing out are simply reminding
Okay.
us that this is what you promised. You need to do them. Because we promised them.
Okay.
We will do them with to have the period. It's 5 years you gave us.
Okay.
Okay. But those kind of people going there to say, sanction them. Sanction Zambia. Where does that person live? He wants Zambia to be sanctioned. Where does he live? He's in Zambia. Then his thinking capacity. It seems we need to take someone somewhere, maybe to try and recorrect it. You live in Zambia and you want your country to be sanctioned. What are you thinking?
So those kind of individuals or those types of individuals.
Those are the enemies we are talking about. They don't mean well
Okay.
to the people of Zambia.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Camnet.
Okay, fantastic. Your name,
I
sir?
want to contribute about
Your name, sir?
my name is Mr. Mansam.
Okay, can you go ahead?
Yes. Okay. Quite alright. The expensive of living is just going down. What you wanted to discuss is about the climate change.
Okay.
This kind of climate change, it affects our farmers and the things are going very expensive nowadays. So what's the most important thing? Let's talk also about the climate. How we are going to deal with this kind of economy is to make sure that we go and start planting kind of trees. Maybe also it can assist us. So the government should also look at this kind of problem. We have got a lot of youth in our society. There are a lot of them maybe dancing, why can't people improve this kind of dancing and then put them start planting trees in the forest so that at least maybe we can survive on this kind of climate. I thank you for that.
Okay, thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah.
Climate change. You are through ZESCO, no, your government, through the Ministry of Energy, through the Energy Regulation Board, to ZESCO, have effected the 8-hour load shedding schedule. Now, this comes against the backdrop of the president making a presidential directive that cutting trees will be considered illegal. The 8 hours load shedding schedule, don't you think it's counterproductive? One. Two, the development of this country, because obviously salons, barber shops, printing shops, stationery shops are going to be affected. And now we are also grappling with climate change, like what our caller is from saying. We are going to plant trees, quite all right, but the charcoal burners are going to cut down those trees. What is happening in your administration?
Cutting trees did not start in UPND. We've grown seeing that.
But you're in charge.
Listen, we've grown seeing that. So if we are to curb such a vice, it's where you've seen the president saying it will be counted illegal.
But you have effected load shedding again.
Listen,
in the same breath.
we've effected load shedding. Yes, and we've said no burning of charcoal, no cutting trees.
So what alternative are you giving us?
We have gas. There are gas stoves. There are other things that people can do. Okay? There are a lot of other ways that people can see how to,
Apart from charcoal?
Yes. So you saw that load shedding really is affecting the business of Zambians. It's affecting me equally. Okay? That's why you could see or hear the president saying they have to revisit the decision because the hours are too long. Okay? So it's not something that I can debate about because the owner of the country, the #1 citizen, I've seen it. That is not good. Where am I? I've also seen it because I run business. It's not good. And I'm not happy about that. The reason why we are calling other stakeholders, others with good ideas.
But you listen to ideas.
They have answered so many times.
You've heard Mr. Mlenga. Mr. Mlenga from Makeni came through and said, you need to listen and heed to advice and heed advice because at the end of the day, yes, you've removed cadres from the streets. Yes, you've brought free education. Yes, you've increased constituency development fund, CDF. Yes, you have employed teachers. Yes, you have employed defense forces. We saw ZNS.
We've scored.
Graduating.
Okay. Yes.
But issue unga wupi. That's the issue that the Zambian citizen wants you to address. The issue of mid-meal, Dr. Kalenga.
We've spoken and I've spoken so many times here, and I'm speaking again. I said no one, neither myself, I'm not happy about that. But there are mitigative solutions or ways
like what
that the government has introduced.
Mr. Mlenga wants to find out from Makeni.
He said,
what measures are you putting in place?
He was also saying to say, we know there is drought. People cultivated a lot. We expected to have a reduction this year and the next year because we would have, would have a good harvest. Now, something unexpected, something that we cannot avoid, came into. So, it's only God. Okay? And I know the people from Ministry of Agriculture are not quiet. They are working 24/7 to make sure that they mitigate or bring in solution to the issue of meal meal. I'm also affected, my brother. Same as Mr. Mulenga. I'm affected. Ndio bwali ine. Shiryo mpunga yo. Ndio bwali wandala. I'm affected. I'm not happy about that. Neither anyone in the government is happy about that. There is no well-meaning Zambian who can be happy about that. That I should tell you. The UPND.
But some section of society want to believe that you do not listen to advice.
How? I told you. My friend.
When the citizens are talking, when the
there will be no rain.
You say they're being sponsored by the opposition.
My brother.
And you do not listen to
I question you. Where are we supposed to tell the farmers not to cultivate?
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling you within Lusaka.
Your name?
My name is Kefas.
Okay, fantastic, Mr. Kefas.
Yes, I just want to mention, we are following the program,
Okay.
but we are just disappointed with the money there. You see, we are old enough, and from 1964 up to this time, we have been following this. The issue at the end is emergency.
Okay.
People, we are saying, advice is very important. You can gain wisdom. You can gain knowledge.
Okay.
Now, if you think you know everything, then you go into a ditch. What we are saying is, we were promised a lot of things. Some of them have been done, but in Zambia, a staple food, any government which touches a staple food, that government, there will be enemies, there will be a closer age with these people.
Okay.
Even in the Kaunga era. So now what I'm trying to say is my contribution is, the problem with this, they increase the fuel, which is the half. Two, they increase the maize to 280, which caused the increase of meal. Now this time, again, the advice was given to all stakeholders not to afford maize and export. But government would not listen because the rains are not provided by human beings but by God. So now this is the situation. Now, currently, since it is organization, even at the hospital, you can have an ambulance for emergency. Even now, what is the current emergency can the government provide for this high cost of living? Because SCTR, they are saying a house of 5 supposed to have 80,000. Two, now, what is the plan of the government for this economy? Is it any solution that the situation, the economy, the cost of living can be reduced now so that Zambians are able to eat? Because this time, even in big and they are having pameras. Now, where are we going? Where is the direction?
There's no pamela.
What is the direction?
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kefas from Lusaka there, coming through. He's talked about you not listening to stakeholders and technocrats over on offloading maize and subsequently exporting maize that you had found in reserves. You as the UPND.
So are you telling me there is no maize in reserve?
For us to have a national disaster, that's the implication.
Did the president said we don't have maize in stock?
Bring us up to speed.
I'm asking. You heard when he pronounced the disaster, okay? Did he say we don't have maize in stock? Go to FRA branches. Go, and if you find that there is no maize, did we say we don't have maize? No. We should have a heart of a parent. Everyone who planted maize expected the profit at the end of the day. But drought destroyed the plants. Now, a listening person, a person with heart of mercy, would pronounce, like the president did, I said, you know, those who are affected with droughts, they didn't deserve that. It's natural. Okay? So, they prepared, they planned themselves to say, if we cultivate an hectare, an acre, a lima, we'll have food on table with my family. Then there is no rain.
So, Mr. Kefa says...
Do we take that for granted?
Mr.
No,
Kefa says...
listen.
We're in a state of emergency.
Let me finish.
Since the president declared this as a national disaster. We're in a state of emergency. Can we see emergency measures being put in place? Can we see the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, and its coordinator getting busy and getting on the ground to address the issues of drought? He gave an example that even a clinic, a healthcare facility, does have an ambulance for emergencies. Why aren't we seeing emergency measures being put in place to mitigate the effects of El Nino?
First, I want to dispute the statement to say you don't listen. He said he was born in 1964, or it is when Zambia was born. Okay. As that Mr. Murenga or Mr. whatever.
No, Mr. Kefas.
Mr. Kefas. Has Mr. Kefas gone to Mr. Paul in his office, then he's rejected, or he's chased away because disaster is just by the corner. Okay.
It's the perception that your administration has given to the majority Zambians that we don't listen.
No.
That's where Mr. Kefas is getting it from. It's the perception.
My brother.
And politics is about perception.
My brother.
Dr. Akarim, and you know better.
Listen, nothing like that. Okay? Let's not traumatize things and trying to paint others black. Okay? I said UPND runs an open door policy. Go advise the minister if he's going to reject your advice. Simple. Then declaring a national disaster did not mean that we don't have maize in the country. Okay? Let's not misinterpret.
So these are just semantics.
The president said things has not gone well to the farmers. Hence it was declared disaster. We expected huge harvest. Now because of drought, we will not have the maize which we anticipated.
So what measures have you put in
place
to help the farmer?
It doesn't. That's why it is a national disaster. I told you that Minister of Agriculture, through extension officers, are going round. The ministry will come and give that report, not me. Okay? What I can just tell you is, as the president declared, then instruction is given to the ministry in charge of agriculture, going around and makes to see those people who are affected. Then government brings in a solution to them. I told you one thing that we should know, that this government is a concerned government. It's one by declaring that is a national disaster. It's a good sign. First sign to say we are not happy about what has happened.
Okay.
Henceforth, so when it is declared a disaster, then mitigations ways are there.
So now we do have a text message here. As we begin to wind up. Where has that text message gone also? Technology is trying to fail us. But is it from Oscar Lubomba Mchindu? He says, if we do have maize, then why increase the price of minimum?
It's not UPND which is increasing the price.
You are in charge.
No.
You are in government.
I told you, Zambia is a democratic country.
You are in charge.
I want to answer
you got the shots.
Listen to me. We don't regulate price. There is no price control board in a democratically led nation. If it were during Kaunda regime where we had one party state, Kaunda as the price control board.
Then it means that you're not making the business environment conducive For the millers.
No, the only
That's the
solution.
implication.
We cannot control the millers.
You can't control the millers,
Yes.
but it means that you are not making or creating a business conducive environment for the millers.
My brother, if you go to those millers, ask them how much do they buy a bag of maize from government at a cheaper price. Then why do they increase minimum? That's the question you Zambians should be asking the millers. They buy maize from FRA at a cheaper price. But when they go there, they bring in minimum at a higher price. So the only mitigation solution or solution to that is what you saw government purchasing milling plants. So that we should be producing milling ourselves.
Your predecessors left solar milling plants across the country. Your predecessors, the PF. Why haven't you capitalized on that?
That is joking.
Okay. As we begin to wind up, they left milling plants.
You know, Mr. Smarter, one day,
your predecessors.
Listen, we have those solar milling plants.
Yes.
Do you know how many hours those solar plants works? They start waiting at 14 because they are solar what? Plants. You know, those generators or motors are too big. Okay? They cannot produce minimum like we are expected.
A little goes a long way. Thank you so much, Dr. Kalenga.
Okay.
So, let me thank you more sincerely. We need to go. Your last words in 30 seconds, beginning now.
My brother, we are appealing to Zambians. Please, UPND is a listening party. Don't hear from social media. And when someone says this, that one says that. No. Go near to them. Find out from them. Come to us if we are going to, to rebuke you or say no to your advice.
Okay, your 30 seconds is up.
No. Why should you give me 30 seconds? I still have time here.
No. That's a problem with politicians. You give them a platform, they want to take the whole day.
12 minutes.
Dr. Kalenga, we are done. It's past 14:01. A minute gone after 14.
Yes.
We need to go. Thank you so much.
My 10 minutes.
No.
From the beginning.
No.
You guys.
Dr. Kalenga, thank you so much.
So, let me finish. So, my fellow Zambians, your president is a listening president. Come, go to his Facebook page, go to Twitter. He is there for you. He's going to answer all your queries. Okay? Neither myself, I have my Facebook page. I will answer where I can. Okay? Where I don't, I will seek for your advice so that we run the business of this nation. I thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kalenga, for coming through. The voice of Luapula has been heard. Yeah. And obviously, let me say thank you to Mr. Kefas from within Lusaka, Mr. Mulenga also, and our caller who called us from Tendere there. Thank you so much. And Mr. Banda as well, from the Cover Belt Kito in particular, to Atotela. And also, Gerard Mwansa, thank you so much. Oscar Luwomba, thank you so much. Moses Chilas, thank you so much. Ezron Mwape, thank you so much. Senior scribe and reporter, a brother in the media, Francis Chupalo, thank you so much, my brother, for tuning in and for choosing us amongst many. To you all dear viewers watching us from wherever you're watching us from, like Mr. Lawrence Mfula, thank you so much. We do appreciate. This has been the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Joe Smarter. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Good afternoon.